generally we have, as well as a fear of failure, you have its twin, which is called fear of success. So we could be procrastinating because if we succeed at something, then that raises the expectation of us to do something else.
Today we're chatting with Suzanne Mills. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Suzanne has quite the unique story. Share with us how you came into helping entrepreneurs with procrastination and living out their best life.
Yeah, that is quite a unique story. The way I came into it was after being diagnosed with cancer and having to rebuild my life and make sure things got done. And I got into personal growth to deal with the anxiety and depression that followed that. So it was a long journey. And then I wanted to use my skills then to go on and help other people live their best life.
Clearly, you're not from America. So tell us where you're from.
No, I'm not. You can tell that. Yeah, I'm from England in the UK. I live in the south of England in Hampshire.
I love your accent.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. It's not actually a southern accent because I spent the first 30 years of my life in the north of England. So, but yeah, thank you.
Why did you choose to build your business around this specific niche?
Because a lot of procrastination is mindset work, because a lot of it is subconscious. And what holds us back is that we don't actually realize we're procrastinating. And what I focused a lot on while I was recovering and rebuilding my life and personal growth was a lot of mindset work, because it's our thoughts can be our own worst enemy. So I built my self-awareness of my thoughts and how to challenge my thoughts and how to get myself into action and make sure things were happening, even if I wasn't doing them, that things were organized and happening, because I had 2 young children as well while I was recovering. So I thought that was a good area to focus on because it holds a lot of people back.
That's interesting. I see. Okay, I love how you mesh helping women with creating their perfect life through procrastination, but how do you tie it together to benefit your clients?
Right. Well, what we would do is explore what you want your ideal life to look like, because so many women nowadays feel like they're constantly juggling, they're busy, they're doing it all. So what we do is we take a step back, we look at what we want your ideal life to look like, what's holding you back, and build self-awareness, look at your beliefs, and if you've got beliefs that are holding you back, and explore and uncover the reasons why you're procrastinating, what's holding you back and what's stopping you living that dream life. Because, for example, if you come across a task that you need to do, and when you think about it, it immediately brings up unpleasant feelings inside yourself, then you're going to want to, in effect, run away from those unpleasant feelings. And one thing our mind is really good at is giving us distractions and telling us, oh, it'd be so much more fun if we just left that till later and went onto social media. There's so many things that can distract us, distract our focus and pull us away from our task. So what I focus on is teaching you how to be the laser beam and laser in at what you want to do, instead of being the floodlight where you're getting distracted by lots of different tasks.
So you're pretty much diving deep into the mind to see what's behind your psychological reasons versus
yes. Oh,
versus It's just you running out of time every single day. You're diving deep. I
Yeah,
love that.
because time is our greatest resource, and it's about being intentional with our time. Because I mean, we've all got the same 24 hours in a day, and asking yourself the question, when so often we say, I haven't got time, but we have time for what's important to us. So if we rephrase that, is what I want to do a priority to me, and then scale that from 0 to 10, how big a priority is this to me, then we can discover what's holding us back and what we need to move forward.
That makes a lot of sense, because I'm one of those people who are like, I know I only have these 24 hours, but yet I'm spending it doing stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes we look over at other people, don't we? And we think, how come they can get so much done and I can't? Right. But it's be your mindset distracting you. And a useful first exercise, what I did with a client of mine that really gave her a severe wake-up call, is a time diary. And when she actually wrote down what she was doing during the day, she's sort of like, oh my goodness, I have no life, you know, where all the time was going. And she's doing so awesome now. I'm so proud of her.
That's wow. I mean, I've never even considered like writing down what I'm doing all day to see where I'm procrastinating.
Yeah, to see where is your time actually going, because
Right.
Procrastination is the biggest thief of our time. It's stealing time from us every day. We just don't realize it because it's disguised as, I'll just spend 10 minutes on social media, that becomes an hour. Or I just need to catch up on this TV show. We even procrastinate from even cleaning your house. Can be a way of procrastinating from doing something else. Okay, you tell yourself it's productive work because the house needs cleaning, but are you actually using that more as a productive form of procrastination from what something more important that needs doing?
That's true. Do you find there are some like common reasons why entrepreneurs procrastinate?
Yeah, generally we have, as well as a fear of failure, you have its twin, which is called fear of success. So we could be procrastinating because if we succeed at something, then that raises the expectation of us to do something else. Also, a lot with entrepreneurs, I think very much we're forever telling ourselves we should be doing this and we should be doing that, whereas that should puts additional pressure on us, and we don't like pressure even from ourselves. So we need to be talking nicely to ourselves and telling ourselves the benefit of the task that we need to get done.
Wow. Okay, say I'm a mom. I also own a business. I'm just looking to find some kind of time to myself. What would you advise me to do?
Right, what I would advise you to do first is to brainstorm. Just get a piece of paper and a pen. I'd brainstorm everything you think you need to get done. And then I'd go through that list and say, right, now prioritize it from 1 to 5. Once you've got your brainstormed list and you 1 to 5, then for the next day, you're going to pick your top 3 priorities. And the following morning, those three are your priorities. You create flexibility in your day for life happens moments, and then you make self-care a priority. So you pick a self-care item, which is item number 4. Because if we don't make ourselves a priority as mums and entrepreneurs and everything, you can't pour from an empty cup. And I like to amend that to say, no matter how much you tip it upside down and shake it, we have to recharge our batteries to have the energy to take on the day. So if we do like what I call a power list of our top 3 priorities and a self-care item, and make sure we're including self-care in our day every day.
That's really good, because I know myself, having 2 businesses and a 4-year-old at home is like, I have no time. And then it's like, I know I need self-care, but it's
Yeah,
like, when? When do I have this time to get this self-care in that I need?
it can work. You decide what self-care is for you as well. Is self-care half an hour's peace and quiet in the bath with your favorite bubble bath and everything like that? Is that how you recharge? You know, put some music on or light some candles, whatever you find relaxing, or go out for a walk. Even a walk with your 4-year-old could be self-care, because I have teenagers, but we go around the woods and we just stop and listen, real intense listening. And when you stop and listening, you realize how many different birds are actually chirping, and they're all on a different frequency, how many different types of chirp there actually are. Then you can start thinking, oh, I wonder how many birds are actually living in these woods,
Oh
and
my
just
gosh.
exploring your senses.
That's interesting. I've never thought to go in the woods and listen to birds. Now I'm gonna be out here bird watching, trying to listen.
If you want to take it a step further, the way my mind goes is, do these birds all understand each other? Or is it like speaking different languages?
Wow. That's wow. Okay, so if the listeners wanted some pointers on how to stop wasting their own time, what would you recommend? Outside of the journaling.
Oh yeah, because what I would is recommend first is a time diary. Look back, take a step back and say, where am I spending all my time? Because we have 24 hours in a day. Take out, say, 8 hours for sleep, that leaves us 16 hours. Okay, where am I spending those 16 hours? And if we do intense focus as well, rather than distracted. So, for example, pick a task that needs doing, set a time and say, right, I'm going to put intense focus onto that task for 20 minutes. And you can be more productive in that 20 minutes of intense focused activity than jumping about from task to task all the time. But yeah, for your listeners, I'd recommend as a number one step is doing that time diary to see where your time's going, because that was a big eye opener for one of my clients.
Do you do batching? Like time batching?
Yes, you can do batching where you put tasks together, but also what I do is the 5-minute rule. So what can you get done in 5 minutes? So if you've got a spare 5 minutes, it can just be one thing at a time. So say you've got a big pile of papers on your desk and you're overwhelmed that your desk needs tidying. You only ever focusing on one thing at a time. Pick up one piece of paper, look at it and take action on it. And then pick up the next piece of paper. What do we need to do? Take action on it. And as you're only ever taking action on one thing at a time, before you realize it, you're actually stacking up the wins. And that's an easy way of overcoming your overwhelm.
That's a really good idea. Okay, so all of us, a lot of us want to be in charge of our lives, but we somehow end up bouncing around, no set plans, just doing whatever people toss at us. It's like when people have lives that are like run by external factors instead of making their own decisions on what they want to do. So what suggestions do you give to your clients on how to start prioritizing everything proactively instead of remaining in a reactive lifestyle?
One of the tips I do give them to start with is to build on where your focus is, build your self-awareness by looking at where your focus is going. Because every minute of every day, we're focusing on something and asking ourselves 3 questions. What we're focusing on, what does it mean, and what are we going to do about it? And that's all going on subconsciously. So if we can create consciously what we're focusing on, and my recommendation is to get some sticky notes, write focus on them in big letters and stick them all around your house where you can see them. So every time you see the word focus, ask yourself, right, what have I been focusing on for the past 10 minutes? Because if you can build your self-awareness and learn to control your focus, You can learn to take charge of your life, because you can say, is this where I want my focus to be? No, and change it. So if you're interrupted on a task, which can be frustrating, you can learn to take your focus back to the task at hand rather than getting distracted.
That's really good. Are there any questions entrepreneurs should be asking themselves to know when, what are some questions we should be asking ourselves so we won't get into this procrastination state and stay stuck in it?
We should be asking ourselves that we're the ones in charge. Every decision we make is a choice. So if we go in, make sure we're making conscious choices. You go on social media, it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
If you build that self-awareness and find yourself procrastinating, you can ask yourself when you're getting distracted, am I procrastinating on something? What's the benefit of doing this? And building that awareness, so you're bringing your procrastination into your conscious rather than your subconscious. Like I say, it's like keeping track of your focus, so that if you find yourself suddenly, because we all do it mindlessly, don't we?
Yeah.
We're suddenly scrolling through social media, and then it's learning to stop, catch yourself and think, hang on a minute, wasn't there something I was supposed to be doing? And taking control. We all have a superpower. Our focus is actually our superpower. So if we can train that superpower, then that's how we take charge of our day. And our other superpower is decision, using the power of decision. Everything we do throughout the day, we've decided to do it, be that consciously or subconsciously, we've still made a decision to do it. So it's just
the iPhone started doing this thing where they'll tell you how your average time on your phone.
Yes,
and like mine is like steadily increasing, and one day it showed 12 hours for the past week, and I'm like, what was I even doing on my phone?
Well,
like I don't even remember being on my phone that much during the week. So how did I get to 12 hours? It's like crazy.
And that's it. And where have those 12 hours gone? How could I make them more productive? I believe there is an app, I don't know if it's the same one, that tells you how often you unlock your phone as well. So if you're unlocking your phone like 100 times a day, you know that you need to change something.
I don't even want to see those numbers because they could be astronomical.
Another tip as well, if one is to create a morning routine. And the first thing a lot of us do when we get up in the morning is go for our phone. Starting with 30, well, you can start with 15 minutes if you find it hard, and build up to an hour. That first hour of the day, you do not touch your phone. Build yourself a morning routine that sets yourself up for success. But yeah, start with 15 minutes and then see if you can build up to an hour before, because nothing vital is going to happen in that hour. You don't need to be checking the news, checking them firstly. You need to set yourself up for success and get yourself up, do some exercise, have some breakfast, do whatever. If you've got small children, pay attention to them first thing in the morning. And then you can sit down with a coffee. Right, now I'm consciously going to spend half an hour on my phone rather than mindlessly end up on it, and think about what you want to be doing on it. Do I want to check my emails? Do I want to check my social media? It's not a bad thing, but be consciously aware of how much time you're spending on it and what you're doing.
That's gonna be, I don't know about anybody else, but that's gonna be pretty hard for me because I'm one of those people who immediately grab the phone. Soon as I get up, I'm like immediate phone. But then I know it also puts me in like moods, depending on what I see first. I'll automatically be in the zone, or I'll be negative, or it just depends on whatever I see. So that's a really great idea to like at least for an hour, don't even touch the phone.
Because the word escapes me at the moment, but when we first get up, our brain is on a different wavelength, and that changes after about half an hour to an hour. So we're actually more susceptible when we first get up. to going into a bad mood if we read something on social media that we disagree with. So it's better to give yourself a healthy wake up, and when you're properly awake and refreshed, you're more able to deal with what you see on social media or your emails rather than just reacting. You can respond to it instead. You can start with, if you find it hard, leaving your phone downstairs. Maybe you can leave your phone downstairs on charge overnight so it's not available next to your bed.
Oh, like my phone. What am I gonna do without my phone being next to me?
Yeah, that's it. I like my little laugh, don't I? It's hard. It's not like moving it into another room, or it's and consistent daily actions. Maybe start with it at the other end of your bedroom, or if go cold turkey, say I'm going to charge it downstairs and I'm going to read a book or find something to distract yourself from the fact you're not in the same room as your phone.
It's almost like when you have a baby and you're having like a separation anxiety for them to start going to their room. It's like, oh, we're going to put the baby little cart further and further away in a couple of months.
That's it. I maybe at more of an advantage, I don't know, is that I'm older and I grew up without mobile phones. I went out and it's not like I went out and I was out of contact with people.
Yeah, I mean, me and my husband talk about this a lot, like, because I grew up without phones too.
Yeah.
And it's like, he used to always talk about how he would like be on his bike for like 16 miles for hours out. Yeah. And nobody would know where he was. And it was like the best thing ever.
That's it. Yeah. And I remember having to find a phone box when I was lost,
Right.
So.
Do you have any more gems you would like to drop for women looking to live a limited life?
Think about, make yourself a priority and be always thinking what you want out of life. Is this how I want my day? You're like, so many of us get up in the morning and the first thing that happens, it's a bad day. Start self-awareness of your thoughts and think, how can I make this a good day? It's not a bad day just because the first half an hour didn't go so well. How can I get myself back on track? That sort of thing. What outcome? I've forgotten his name, but it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective. Stephen Covey wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of them is begin with the end in mind. So think about the end of the day and what outcome you want to have at the end of the day to keep yourself on track throughout the day. And don't be too hard on yourself, because as mums and that, we are hard on ourselves. So
I was going to ask that too. I was going to say, what book would you recommend? But you already gave us a book.
I can recommend hundreds of books. If you're struggling with confidence, there's also the Confidence Gap by, I think, Russ Harris. And if you really want to take your life to the next level, there's Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Or there's, if you're, what we tend to do is overthink. Overthinking takes up a lot of our time. A good book for dealing with overthinking is Soundtracks by John Acuff. I think is how you pronounce his name. So there's a few recommendations for you. It's called Soundtracks. Yeah, his idea is that your overthinking is a broken soundtrack in your mind, and you replace that with an empowering soundtrack to stop yourself overthinking.
Because I'm an overthinker. Like, I will overthink a word, literally one word.
Yeah, we all do it. We use 100 words instead of 10. Overthinking can be our curse, and that overthinking can be a major cause of procrastination as well, because the more we think about it, the harder it seems, and we can overthink a task to the point that when we actually do it, we actually surprise ourselves that it took 5 minutes and how easy it was, and we've been overthinking it for the past hour.
That makes so much sense. Like, oh my gosh, I'm that person. Definitely that person.
So yeah, the strategies you can do to help you. A strategy I use is that I catch myself overthinking and actually put up a red stop sign in my head. I'm a very visual person, so I'll actually put a stop sign up in my head to stop, take a breath, and think where I actually want to go next.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna start using that one. Like, I'm a visual person too, so I can
Yeah.
visualize a stop sign in my head and literally make myself stop.
Yeah, so
That's powerful.
that is very powerful. Yes.
That's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of Susan's info will be in the show notes, but Susan, please tell everyone where they can connect with you.
They can connect with me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Mindset Coaching Crush Procrastination. And I also have a free group called Live a Life Beyond Limits, where you can join and get my support. And I post daily positive quotes, a weekly self-care, and weekly nuggets of information on mindset and overcoming procrastination. So I'd be happy to see you in there.
Thank you so much for stopping by today and giving us a delve into your mind and how you help your clients. We really appreciate you coming out.
You're very welcome. I hope it helps your listeners.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for tuning in. Stop playing at life. Let's go. Hey,
you just listened to Melissa with Stop Playing at Life, because you know damn well you need to go out there and have a life.
Right now's the time. Let's go. Hey.